The ongoing Russian and Ukraine conflict has attracted many international efforts to stabilize peace. The controversy involves Russia's President Vladimir Putin, Ukraine's President Zelensky, and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India's stance on the situation is neutral. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, which began in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea by Russia, escalated significantly in February 2022 when Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The conflict has resulted in severe humanitarian crisis, economic instability, and geopolitical tensions. Now, the recent diplomatic efforts include, firstly, Narendra Modi and Putin's meeting. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow has drawn considerable international attention. The discussions were centered around the ongoing conflict, with Modi advocating for peace and calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities. This meeting underscores India's delicate diplomatic balancing act, maintaining strategic relations with both Russia and the West. Second is Zelensky's reaction. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has expressed his frustration and disappointment regarding Modi's meeting with Putin. Zelensky's response highlights the complex dynamics and sensitivities involved in international diplomacy and the conflict. He has accused Russia of escalating the conflict and criticized any engagements that could be perceived as legitimizing Russia's actions in Ukraine. Now, the key statements and the reaction. Firstly, Zelensky's criticism. Zelensky's anger was palpable as he criticized international efforts that appear to engage with Russia without addressing the core issues of Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity. He emphasized that any diplomatic interactions must prioritize the cessation of Russian aggression and restoration of peace in Ukraine. Second is Modi's peace advocacy. During his meeting with Putin, PM Modi reiterated India's stance on the importance of dialogue and diplomacy. He called for an immediate end to violence and underscored the humanitarian crisis resulting from the conflict. Modi's approach aims to leverage India's neutral position to advocate for a peaceful resolution, although the neutrality is often viewed critically by Ukraine and its allies. Third is Putin's stand. President Putin, on the other hand, has maintained a firm stance on Russia's strategic interests in Ukraine. His discussions with Modi were seen as an attempt to garner international support or at least neutrality from influential nations like India. Putin's narrative focuses on security concerns and historical ties, framing the conflict as a defensive measure against Western encroachment. International implications includes geopolitical balancing. The interactions between Modi, Putin, and Zelensky illustrate the intricate geopolitical balancing act that nations must perform. India's engagement with Russia is driven by strategic interests, including defense and energy ties, while also maintaining relationships with Western countries and advocating for international law and human rights. Secondly, global reactions. The international community's reactions to these diplomatic efforts have been mixed. Western nations, particularly those in NATO, view any engagement with Russia with suspicion, fearing it may undermine collective efforts to isolate and pressurize Moscow. Meanwhile, countries in the global south observe these interactions with interest, noting the complex interplay of global power dynamics. The recent developments involving Zelensky, Putin, and Modi highlight the ongoing challenges in navigating the Russia-Ukraine conflict through diplomacy. Zelensky's critical stance reflects Ukraine's urgent need for international support that unequivocally opposes Russia's aggression. Modi's diplomatic efforts aim to advocate for peace with balancing India's strategic interest. Putin's engagement with international leaders seeks to bolster Russia's position in growing global isolation. As the conflict continues, the roles and interactions of these leaders will remain pivotal in shaping the path toward a potential resolution. The international community watches closely, hoping for a breakthrough that can bring lasting peace to the region. If you like the video, do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.